Mining job hunt that you don't need a trade or a degree for. Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and today we're going to do a job hunt using the keywords underground, offsider and process worker. But first, I'd just like to say congratulations to Jonathan, who got himself a start as a truck driver last week. Well done, mate. I'm sure you're going to have a long and profitable career. So you can have a look at what Jonathan had to say to us on the Sponsors Wall of Fame page, and you can go back through and have a look at all the people that have gotten jobs over the years that have left us lovely messages when they've got their start. So let's have a look at the jobs. So let's start with underground, and as you can see, there's a lot come up. What you're looking for in the underground jobs are nipper, truck and offsider in the underground space. You can also have a look at some of the service crew jobs. There's not many people get on entry level with service crew. Some of the companies have, because there's just such a need for people with these skills, they've entertained the fact of trying to bring people on with apprenticeships and put them straight onto service crew. But most of the companies these days, they get you to start on as a nipper, a truck driver or an offsider. And you can see there's lots of entry-level jobs around the country, and this is a good one, the truck operator job in WA, or this is Burncut's standard underground truck operator job, and they ask for people with experience at the top, but down here is underground experience is preferred, however not essential. And then they don't want any tickets. For God's sake, don't go and do your dump truck ticket. If you haven't already had a look, have a look at my rant on tickets in mining that I've just posted up, and that gives you what I think of the people in the eastern states selling these 3-day dump truck courses that the employers can't use. That's right, those 3-day dump truck courses, the employers can't use them. They've got to issue their own tickets on site. That's why the only requirements here for a valid manual driver's license have rights to work in Australia, which means you've got to be a permanent resident or a citizen. The entry-level jobs, or all the crew jobs from nipper all the way up to jumbo, are classed as unskilled labour because you can only do them in one place, and that's a mine site. And because it's unskilled labour, that means that only permanent residents and citizens get a start. They can't take backpackers. Occasionally backpackers get in and do a video about it, but I've seen so many people with visas and backpackers and all that sort of stuff over the years being frog marched off sites as soon as the employers find out. One of the worst things you can do is lie to the employers. If you get yourself a start, whatever you do, don't get caught lying, because once you do, you're instantly off site. I've seen people make huge stuff ups that have cost hundreds of thousands of dollars because they were honest and they've been kept on, and I've seen people lie over $20, get a window seat on the first plane out. So it's really important that you're honest. So this is the underground ones, and you just come through and have a look, and they're everywhere, and you can go through them. There's about there's probably about 100 pages there for you to go through. Once you get on top of it, what I like to do is set it to 3 days, and that just gives it a bit more manageable level. The other big tip that I like to give people is don't put a city or suburb in, just have Australia in. If you try and narrow it down to the state you're in, sometimes you don't pick up all the jobs. For whatever reason, the people posting the jobs don't always post them specifically to a state. So if you just go after New South Wales, then there might be some jobs that you miss out on. So I just like to leave it open and just stay on top of it. And the same thing goes for the offsider jobs. So if we have a look at offsiders, and you'll see them all there. If you want to be an offsider on the surface, then I suggest that you like camping and have got a HR license. They want a HR license out of you. Some companies will take you with a normal manual car license, but they'll try and upgrade you to a HR license as soon as possible. If you're lucky enough to get a driller's offsiders job underground, you'll be in the camp. When I say camp, you'll have your own room, you won't be camping, whereas a lot of the offsider jobs on the surface, it's caravan time out in the middle of nowhere. So just be aware of that. I mean, it's good money, you can get straight into it. There's not a lot you have to go through to sort of get one of those sort of jobs, but just be aware too that they do have a really high turnover of people, obviously, because it's a very labour intensive job and a very physical job. So the last one that we'll have a look at is the process operator job. And these ones, you've got to look through it a little bit more, because you've got different industries that are posting jobs under these process technician jobs. But you don't have to go far to see one. So that's Silver Lake Resources, so that's one. And it's the same thing with these process operator jobs. So the mill jobs, they're the same as the underground employers. Even though they want experience, chances are they're going to have to put new people on. So if you really want to try and get on the mill, then I'd be applying for all these process jobs that are coming up in all these gold and nickel mines around the country. And there's heaps of them. If you look through them, there's lots. So if you don't want to go underground, or you want to do something a bit different than working on the mill, it pays good money. Most people make between 120 and 150,000 on the mill, which isn't to be sneezed at. And after you get some time up, most of those jobs are even time as well. But, if you want the big money job, then the big money jobs are in the underground side of things. So how can you go about getting yourself one of these underground jobs that you don't need a trade or a degree for? Well, you can use the sponsors training. They've got a really good package called the Win-Win package. It consists of all the online training that you need to get yourself up to speed, so you can talk to the employers about how their mine works and discuss the exact jobs that you're going to have to do as a nipper or a truck driver or a member of service crew or an offsider. It comes with a resume review. Win-Win take care of that, and they also do interview prep, so they make sure that you're the full bottle before you put yourself out there to start doing the interviews, which is a really good thing that you do. The underground training offer a couple of different packages that you can have a look through depending on how much support and how much money you've obviously got to spend. But like I said, this is the best way, I think, to get in. And now with Snatch It season upon us, if you haven't looked at the video on Snatch It season, then I suggest you have a look at it. It's a time of year, but for the next 8 weeks over the Christmas holidays, where a lot of people decide that they've had enough of mining and they want to move out of it, or they've decided they've had enough on the particular mine site that they're on and they're going to move on. So they quit in mid-December and they start looking for a job in late January. And for as long as I've ever been in it, it's always been called Snatch It season. That's a really good opportunity to get in. If you want to have a chat a bit more about it, then you can fill out one of these inquiry forms on the underground training page, and that eventually makes it through to me. And you can arrange a time to have a chat, and I don't mind having a 5-minute talk to anybody about what their particular circumstances are and the best way for them to try and get into the industry. But like I keep on telling people, education's the best way in. If you can talk to the mining boss about how their hard rock underground mine works and what you're going to have to do on site, then that goes a long way to getting you a job. It's one of the hardest things that you have to do as a boss, is to try and get somebody up to speed with being able to leave them alone to get on with their job. Teaching them how to drive the truck, that's easy. Teaching them everything that they need to know so they can drive the truck safely on their own and just get on with the job, that's the complicated bit. And so if you do something like the sponsors training, then you get to pitch up knowing how all that works from day one. So I hope you found that information helpful, and remember, there's a lot of jobs out there that you don't need a trade or degree for to get. I don't know why everybody is so focused on the trade and degree jobs. Most of the jobs that are posted around the place are for those type of jobs, and all the information that comes out through the media and other sources are always 100% only the trade and degree jobs. I wish they'd do a story about the jobs that you only need a manual car license for, and maybe there'll be a few more people being able to make the most of those opportunities and get in, because really most people just don't know that the opportunities are there. Just start on $100,000 a year on 2-in-1, and basically all you need is a bit of mining knowledge, a manual car license, be able to pass a drug test and a police clearance and a medical, and that's it, and you're on your way. Lots of people can do it. It's like I said, there's a lot of opportunity around all over the country. So I hope you found that helpful, and if you could share this information around and like the channel and check out the other videos and get your mining knowledge up to speed. And remember, don't get suckered in by those 3-day truck driving courses that the employers can't use. Those R2 tickets, none of the hard rock employers can use them. They've got to issue their own. Thanks.